everyone, What's Carlton here. Welcome to another awesome day of FileMaker training. Today is an open Q&A day. Some of you have questions. Some of you have questionable questions. So do we have a question? Do we have our first victim?
We do have a question. Somehow, the contents of a field and almost all of my records in a database got replaced with the same text string. Is there a way to go back to one or two previous versions of
Margaret, why don't you, Margaret, answer this question? Your instructors here, Professor Carlton, Professor Taylor, we're going to score you on your next answer. So you may begin now. Ding.
There is something in FileMaker called a replace command. I don't remember exactly where it is.
It's right
there.
There.
Here we go. Replace field contents. That's bad. Don't do that. It replaces, I think, all the contents for the field selected in the found set, right? But yeah, as for how you fix it, there's no fixing it if you don't have a backup, right? If you don't have a backup system of some kind, even a crappy one, you're screwed. I'm sorry.
Okay, really so Margaret, if Microsoft Office and something about Word has a Command Z that does undo, and Excel has a Command Z undo, where does Command Z undo? Where does that work in the FileMaker platform?
That works on layout mode. I remember when they added it. It was a whole revelation. They added multiple Command Z undos in layout mode, so it's not
also in Script Workspace.
Does it? Oh, okay. Yeah. In Script Workspace, I think it's up to 50, I believe.
Thereabouts.
So I don't. Yeah, but it doesn't really work when you're actually in browse mode. I think you can only do it once if you type something crappy in a text field. You hit Command Z, it'll get rid of what you just wrote.
If you're still in the field.
If you're still in the field. If the record has been committed, there is no Command Z. The server has already saved the information. The server has no idea what you're trying to undo, or it tells you to go screw yourself. One of the two. The point is, you're not getting the information back.
Yep. So. Yeah. Backups have backups. That's I get to be the server guy here, actually. Yeah, have backups because that saves you from problems like that. If you can find one that's old enough, you can go reconstruct the data from that field and unreplace everything, basically. But that's what I'm describing as a manual import, probably. If you've had a bunch of changes otherwise in the database since then, it's the old school nasty version.
And even if you have backup, just don't forget you're going to have to go prostrate yourself in front of the server guy.
You got to go show up to me and ask, or whoever.
And if it's past 4:30 in the afternoon, you better bring some Reese's M&Ms or something, right? Something.
Yeah, no, there's definitely been a couple of times where I've blown something up in the evening, and then...
I am not worthy of Jacob. Please restore my backup. Are you sure? I double dog. I'm not worthy of you, Jacob. Please fix the backup.
So this is why we have 24 hourly backups. Because Margaret can blow something up at 7:30 p.m. and come crying at 9, and that is still a solvable problem. It remains solvable at that point. So think this again. That's like people think we're being excessive with 24 hourlies, 14 dailies, 13 weeklies. Each of those has a purpose, and they'll solve different problems for you. I have another client, not Margaret. Just to be clear, not Margaret. I have another client who was having server crashing problems, and they, for various reasons, couldn't quite pull off hourly, but every other hour, fine. And then they were having problems on weekends, not great. We extended that out so they had 72 hours of coverage every other hour, so it was just the entire weekend was covered.
All right, so real quick.
You can do stuff like that.
The recommendation is going to be every hour for at least 24 hours. And then once every day at midnight or something, whenever it's quiet, for a month at least, okay? And then every week it's that way a backup's almost a year. Now, here's the deal with this. I have met customers who refuse to do this sort of backup schedule. And one of which was stupid. And if you're that person, I'm not going to mention your name. Just know in the back of your mind that you're literally swimming in a pool with hungry alligators. Okay.
And sharks.
With lasers. Sharks with lasers. You have to know what the reference of that is. That's one problem. The other customer who wouldn't do this was Claris. Okay. That's what they say. Richard, our database is too big to back up during the day. We back it up once at night. Well, what if it crashes during the day? You're going to lose all that data. And then their restoration policy was always to use the crash file. But what would the Claris engineering team or the Claris sales support team do if the database quit working. They get up out of their cubicle, they walk 20 feet down to the right, 20 feet down to the left, and they say, here's our corrupted database. They give it to engineering and say, go fix it. They wouldn't do it because they had unlimited access to the engineers who could get under the hood and fix it.
The people who actually made the product, which you don't have in your corner.
We don't have that in our corner. It costs $500, and for them to do it would take 6 weeks. I think they say $500 in 6 weeks turnaround. These guys in sales, if they can't make, the company goes out of business if they don't sell product for 6 weeks, right? So
yeah, if you have all of Claris engineering around the corner and 600 feet down to the left, feel free to do it.
Oh yeah. If I went into every 7-Eleven and pulled a gun and took their money, and then it's like Grand Theft Auto. Some of you seen Grand Theft Auto, and you call, who do you call, Margaret, to get out of the jail? You call,
I forget his name.
Leon or who do you call to get, and they pay him money, and then he calls the cops and bribes them so they quit chasing him. We don't have that. If we did, that would be really cool. And Jacob could hold people up on his electric bike, and then when the cops are chasing, just call your friend, and the cops suddenly disengage. Oh, that's not the electric bike guy with a server guy on it that you're looking for.
As it turns out, there are 2 electric e-bikes in town, orange ones.
Well, I'm glad all of you are here. Have a great weekend. Get some exercise, get some food, get some sleep.
Yeah,
get caught up on all the important things. Yes.
Have a good one. Goodbye.